Hello, everybody. What is up? Besides the temperature, yay! It's getting warmer. Um, so we're gonna kind of pick back up. We're gonna do remind everybody where we left off last time, and then we're going to have some discussion about it, and we're gonna talk more in depth about Janie Liggins before we go really in depth with her accusation. Um, So I appreciate everybody being here. Everybody from Foul Play. I can see JD. Um, Under Your Scars is in Foul Play. Inexplicable Susan is on my panel, but also in Foul Play. Katie Did It is in our chat and on the panel. Mystic Jinx is in Foul Play's chat. Hey, Jinx, thanks for stopping in. And before I get started with what we're going to talk about any further, I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't already, to please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and leave some comments afterwards and let me know what you think or what questions you might still have. And we will do our very best to address them. I try to answer comments as quickly as they come in. I keep an eye on the notifications. So just do all those things for me if you don't mind. And there is Cherie in the Foul Play chat. Hi, Cherie. I'm not sure why she's not on the panel, but I think she's having computer issues, which brings me to my next point very quickly. I don't know why, but just before I was ready to go live, my computer screen went black, gone. I couldn't click on anything. I couldn't do anything. It was just gone. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I could hear everybody. They could hear me. I just had a black screen. Just before I went live, something happened, and I tried to turn it off to restart it, and it came back on. The screen came back on. So if that happens again, I might have to restart my computer for some reason. And if that's the case, the panel will keep you enlightened with what's going on. And hello to Rhonda SD. Thank you, sweetie, for being here. I really appreciate your help and your support. Um, okay.
Rhonda, are you on battery or are you plugged in?
I'm plugged in. I'm all plugged in. I got a full
Was there
battery and everything.
was there a forced update that you just didn't see the notification or something?
I didn't see any updates. I have automatic. I have my updates are supposed to be automatic, but I'll have to check it after a while and see what's going on.
It's almost like you had a graphics update and it just did it and said, I'm going to
Didn't
do it anyway, no matter what you
didn't
tell
bother
me.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know either, but if it happens again, we'll just keep on rolling uphill. That's
We'll
how
just
we
tell dirty
are.
jokes. We'll just tell dirty jokes while you're gone
Okay.
rebooting, and
All right.
then we
Hey,
will.
that's fair. Excuse me. So I need to get to a number here. I have my slides all prepared and ready to go in. And apparently I had an old slide that I hadn't updated yet or something. So that also finished uploading into my presets just as I was going live. So now I got to go back to where um, that starts. So while I'm waiting, while I'm getting there, I will just ask the panel how everyone's doing. Susan, what has been going on with you this last couple days?
Hey, Rhonda. Hi, everybody. Oh, not too much.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
Okay. That's fair. That works.
Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Thank you. Jack, what about in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's I don't know. It's weird here in Michigan. Talking about the weather for just 2 seconds. It's probably the same for you, considering where you're at. It's been we've had a couple of nights in the 30s, but it's warming up to 70 or so. So yeah, it's huge swing in temperature, huge. But there's And it's going to last probably for another week or two. Then it won't be. It won't go down quite so low. But it's been quite nice actually overall. And I've just been busy doing one thing or another with the Avery case and arguing with. I did join a Facebook group on, and I rarely I got out of almost all Facebook groups as far as the case was concerned, but I did join one where guilters and truthers are part of the conversation, and damn, all I got to say is damn. Anyway, I won't.
Is it
I'll
bad?
make- only in the sense of it's especially this one person that I've been debating with. She's not cussing or name calling anything like that, but she's really glad to just ignore things completely, ignore case backs, or just gloss completely over them.
Typical.
Yes.
Typical
So-
guilter.
Yeah. So I've spent a couple of times writing some pretty lengthy replies, enlightening them, and they can't say I'm wrong. They can't. Not one person in that group has said, "Yep, you're wrong about that." Not one. They just gloss over something that we know, and just assume some kind of whatever that Ken Kratz said as gospel, and it's not true at all. So it's really frustrating, So I haven't gotten on Facebook today to read because I wrote a book last night, or at least a couple of chapters of a book in one of my replies. So I'm sure I got some replies on that I'm going to get to later. So other than that, just
You're a glutton for punishment, Jack. Stay off of that shit.
He loves it.
But I've always kind of been that way about if I know something about the case that is accepted, and then you see those from the other side that want to say, or just ignore it and say something completely different to make their point. I'm just one of those that I have to say something, and it's really, in many ways, that's really what got me really going on Reddit. I mean, I was doing other things as well, but way back in the day, once we started finding things out, it's like, wait a minute, that's not true. That didn't happen. So I've kind of stayed on that same track, and I am glutton for punishment. I know better, but what the hell?
Okay, well, it's all good. Gives you something else to do if you just in case you get bored, right?
Yeah, right, sure.
It sharpens your
Yeah.
knowledge of the case.
Yes.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. All right, and Kay is going to walk us through a lot of these slides tonight. I mean, we'll read them, of course. We'll read them, but Kay she has put in so much work into these slides. How many slides do you have by now, Kay?
I think there are 300 something.
300
Yikes.
slides.
Wow.
Covering.
But I'm still missing some. I mean, we'll see as we go through these that I'm still missing what happened on some of these days, what was going on with the investigation. It's just not clear.
Right.
Which that's shocking, right? Hey, I just wanted to say before we start, today is May 18th, and it's a good day in Oklahoma. We did not kill Richard Glossop today.
I've been thinking about that all day.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so hopefully the Supreme Court's going to do the right thing or do anything.
Do anything.
And
They still have something before them?
2 petitions.
Okay.
I think one is asking them to disagree with, I don't know what the term is, but basically to disagree with the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals decision of not giving him a new trial, which he should have had a new trial based on the Brady violations. I mean, we have a really big issue in Oklahoma with all these judges. Wisconsin does it too, but with all these judges who they're supposed to be deciding if a hearing can happen or a new trial can happen, but instead they just they just take it upon themselves to decide if the issue is right or wrong. And that's just not how it's supposed to work.
That's what Suckowitz has done so many times.
I know. It's
Sakavich,
frustrating,
whatever.
but Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals does it all the time. Daniel's had it done to him several times, even in district court. But
yeah, they're changing the whole system.
Yeah. Well, it's all screwed. So
yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Kay. I've been thinking about that all day. Every time I had to see the date today or write the date at work, I was thinking about praising God that Richard is still alive. And, because several weeks ago, if you guys remember, I was anticipating a very different show for tonight. And I'm so grateful we didn't have to do that. So
I never believed it was going to happen after all these times. I think he's going to get out. I really do.
I think the pressure is so high. I want to think that. I want to believe that. I think that the pressure is so high right now. And this case has gone global or nationwide, at least.
Yeah.
I've seen it in AP News and CNN and other places. So, when you get something, when a state gets such a dark black eye on them like this,
exactly.
Everybody is seeing, man, that's a hard thing for them to just go ahead and say, oh, well, fuck all of you guys. And what you think, we're going to execute them anyway. I hope that's where if that's the only reason, I hope that's where they go with.
Well, it was just
same case.
It was just breathtaking how fast the Supreme Court ruled on that.
Shocking.
You don't see that often.
And that was my fear, how are we going to, at that point, the execution date was 2 weeks away. And I was thinking, God, there's no way the Supreme Court is going to address this before then. That's where my mind was thinking. I just couldn't imagine it, but here we are.
Don't you think when it's coming from an AG?
Yeah.
That's
saying
big.
we screwed up. I think that's the only reason that the Supreme Court acted.
I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. Yeah.
I mean, our governor doesn't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, well.
And the Pardon and Parole Board didn't. Yeah.
I mean, even after all of that and before the Supreme Court granted a stay, Kevin Stitt said, I've already given him a stay once, maybe twice. I can't remember.
And the courts ruled against him. So,
and I'm just gonna, I did that so the legal process could play out, and the legal process has played out, and so I can't do anything. Yeah, you can, dude. Sure. You can do something, even if it's something so shitty as what you did to Julius Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him life in prison instead of a new trial.
Yeah.
Cherie, what were you going to say?
I just wondered how often that had ever happened before, where the AG, even the state AG, is against, kind of fighting against.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Is it?
Oh, I have seen that before. Maybe
in Oklahoma?
Ohio or some other state. But
praise the Lord that Richard is still alive today, and I am sure that he and his wife are on their knees in constant prayer at this point. And Sister Prejean, whatever she's called.
That's it.
Okay, that was rude. Whatever she's called. Anyway, great day for a reprieve for sure. So we're going to keep fighting for. I don't know if everybody or anybody watched the Dr. Phil thing. Was that yesterday or the day before? Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday.
Dr.
I
Phil
did not see it.
Okay, it's on Peacock now, I think.
Oh, okay.
So you can
Peacock.
watch it over. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Kay. I saw Kay on there several times as I was watching it. So
Awesome.
Kay's a celebrity now.
Oh yeah, I'm a celebrity.
Sitting right in the front row. She was ready to say something if she had the opportunity. I was very proud. Very
Cool.
proud to know Kay.
Hey, don't forget about us little people now that you've made it big time.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And if you have any extra cabbage laying around you don't have anything to do with,
Yeah,
keep us in mind. Keep us in mind.
toss
guys-
some
I wanna-
to us.
I want to get
Guys
your
are
autograph
ridiculous.
when I want
Yeah.
your autograph when I meet you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, look, Sister Susan, don't be pushy like that, okay?
Oh my gosh, we should start the show.
Yes, I was going to say, now that that's all been addressed, we're going to go ahead and get started. And you're going to have to just excuse me while I do this the hard way. Not hard, but just one of those days. A Limp
There you
Bizkit
go.
song comes to mind whenever I say that I won't share with everybody, but it's one of my favorites. Okay, so we can definitely share the reading around. So I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'll just call on you guys if you're all right with it and ask you to read a slide or two, and then have Kay or Cherie or I or Jack or Susan, any of us, comment on something as we see it. But we're going to go ahead and start here for now. And
Rhonda,
So-
just for context, what day was Daniel arrested?
he was arrested on August 21st, I believe it was, 2014.
That's right.
Okay.
So, and this is July 3rd. This is a pretty interesting day in that, well,
We're backing up just a little bit,
yeah.
just to remind people where the last
Where we
podcast ended was with Terry Morris's third jailhouse interview. So we can just speed through these that we've
Yeah.
already been over.
Yes.
I
So
didn't
she
mean to
was
interrupt.
arrested on July 3rd of 2014, and she was incarcerated for trespassing, which is interesting. Susan, do you want to read this slide? These are, well, let me also, for context, we were able to get access to some emails, not all of the emails, but some emails from the city, from Oklahoma City. So when you see ones that look like this, that's what they are. So Susan,
Okay.
would you like to read this one?
Sure. This is from Timothy Munsey to Ron Basie. Subject is the AVL, and it was Wednesday, July 9th, 2014. Captain, do we have AVL information for Holtzclaw from 520 to 24? If we don't, I would like to get it.
From 520 to 524.
Isn't that what I said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a question.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't Blinker and Bullwinkle say that they did not have that information? I'm sure they did because we've talked about it.
Well, so 520 to 524 is the dates that Terry Morris really said her assault happened before she got arrested.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she changes it. So this is interesting to me because I know they've already checked all this out. They checked Daniel's AVL out, and they checked Jeff Sellers' AVL out. Right, I think it was on May 27th when Rocky got back from the holiday weekend and got this May 24th
AVL.
accusation from
Yeah.
Terry Morris of being
Gotcha.
assaulted by an unknown officer who drove the older model police car. So they already knew it wasn't Daniel because he didn't drive the older model, but they did go ahead and pull the records to see was he around there.
Of course I did.
He wasn't at work
And
because
he
she
wasn't.
said
Yeah.
it happened on the 20th or the 21st. He was off on the 20th, I think. And then
Okay.
on the 21st, he did take someone to the jail and went by the area that she said in his newer model car.
Right.
And his car didn't slow down or stop there. He went and booked that person into the jail. So they knew it wasn't him already. So this is interesting why since they know they're going to go interview Terry at the jail tomorrow at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
They know,
And-
I believe they had her arrested on the 3rd because there's an email back on June 30th from Denise Wenzel to Captain Ron Basie saying, hey, stop by. The subject is Holtzclaw. Stop by. I need to bring you up to speed or tell you something about the case or something like that. At that point, they realized that Ligon's SANE test was negative. They weren't, they couldn't file charges. They had to get Terry Morris. They also knew that the DNA on the pants didn't match Morris.
Mhm.
So they're like, what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
They got
They
that
shouldn't.
DNA back pretty fast, didn't they?
They
Or
did.
that's like
Yeah.
3 weeks or something.
Yes.
Actually, let's see. I think
Was
they
it
got
June
it back.
14th? The stop on Ligon's?
Oh,
18th. They took in the DNA. I think they got the DNA. They got the uniform. I think they tested on the 19th or on the 20th.
I was
if
thinking
I'm
it
not
was
mistaken.
the 24th or 25th
24th.
of June.
It was the 24th
Yeah.
that they tested.
Okay, that's
So
fast.
from the period of time, June 24th or 5th, up until when she gets arrested on July 3rd, there's not a whole lot of activity to be found. It's hard to see what's going on in the investigation.
Rocky's making phone calls.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
he's
was
getting ready
pretty
to
much
go on
tough.
vacation for a couple weeks too. So that's chaotic here in the timeline.
Okay, some of these are kind of small. So if can you
Sure.
see this one, Susan?
Yeah, they're perfectly readable.
Okay.
This is from Muncie again to Joseph Hill about the AVL again. Joe, can you pull AVL data for Daniel Holtzclaw from May 19 to May 25th? Thanks. Carbon copy to David Shoup.
That's it. That's weird because there's no allegation on the 19th.
Yeah.
And
Well, they're thinking, well, maybe it was a couple days before she,
well, maybe, but the 911 call was May 24th.
Yeah, the 24th. So now they're just trying to get a even bigger cushion.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing. That's weird. I also
Plus
don't
Daniel
know who
probably worked that day.
David Shoup is either.
Yeah, we don't know who that is. Okay, all right. And one more, Susan.
Detective Rocky Gregory and Lieutenant Musney interview accuser Terry Morris for the 3rd time. Obtain buccal swabs from her DNA comparison. Her story changes to fit the narrative they need her to tell.
Oh, maybe I misspoke. About them knowing she wasn't a match yet. Maybe that's coming right up. I thought that was in June.
Oh, okay. All right. Just a really short clip we have here.
2014. He gave me my
This-
crack pipe back.
This is Detective Gregory with Lieutenant Musney. We're here with Terry Morris here at the county jail. She had been placed under arrest. She advised that she did want to talk to us a little bit more. Is that correct, Terry?
That's it. That's all I wanted to.
Terry,
I was thinking about that last night. That's weird.
you said you had some more information.
That's all.
Tell me again so I can take some notes.
That
Wow.
that the location I gave you was wrong.
Why did you give us a wrong location?
Cause I didn't want my boyfriend to be wondering why I was over there by Liberty.
Why was you over there by Liberty?
Cause I was getting high. Well, I had been done getting high, but I was leaving on my way home though. When I got out the gate, soon as I stepped out of the gate, he was like, he called me by my nickname, like he already knew me or something. He says,
Who said this?
the police, he said TT. He called me TT. That's what people on the streets call me.
Right, I know.
That's definitely in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah, right. Thank you
Nice
for saying that.
recording.
That was the entire purpose of playing that little bit, so that you could see if you could see where you could tell that there was a conversation that's taken place already, and she's she's just about something that I thought was really interesting, and I don't know how to do this to where I wanted to lower Rocky Gregory's voice so that you could hear just her voice, where she says, I was just thinking about that last night. That's just weird. Y'all just showed up.
Andy B
No-
can do it. Andy B
Huh?
can do it.
Oh, can
Andy
he? I
B
thought
can-
he probably could. I should.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have time to ask, but I thought he could.
Remember,
Go ahead.
remember another part of this interview later on where she says, well, how did y'all know I was here?
Yeah.
Well, what she wouldn't be saying, how did y'all know I was here, if she had requested to talk to them again, as Rocky just lied and said Terry
Yeah.
Terry advised she wanted to talk to us again.
Right. I caught that right away. It's like, what? After I said that, when I unmuted and said, wait, what?
Yeah, they were supposedly in the jail on another matter, and they just
Oh.
realized she was there.
Yeah.
But then he also tells her, well, we can pull it up.
Yeah.
So he's got so many different stories going on about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's as bad or worse a liar than Blinker.
He's everything out of his mouth is a freaking lie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize for language.
Well, no. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's so visual on Blinker's face and her mannerisms. It's not quite as literal on him. He hides it better.
Really?
To me,
I don't think so.
disagree. I think
every
you know
time,
his
time.
eyes get wide.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
his
do.
eyes are almost bugging out of his head when he's trying to form a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kim's, about to blink her face off.
Yeah, I mean, they're both horrible.
Yeah.
Don't be taken up for him.
okay, my bad. Not bad.
Leslie Holtzclaw.
You leave him as a lying sack of shit who you
That
can
he
read
is.
it all
I will.
over his face.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying, to me, when she lies, it's just really visual to me. I just, it grabs me. Him, yeah, I see it, but it's just not as pronounced.
Well, yeah.
Disagree.
We can all agree to disagree, and it's okay.
Yeah, there you
First
go.
of all, Leslie Holtzclaw says Terry probably just wanted her crack pipe, most likely, because it had been 7 days. My second
boy.
question is, I have to ask, I'm assuming that you're related to Daniel. I don't know, but I mean, that's an interesting last name, an uncommon last name. So,
She is a member of Team Danny.
okay.
And she is
Awesome. Well,
related. She
welcome.
says yes.
Yeah. Well, thank
His
you.
aunt.
And-
That's awesome.
Daniel saying,
thank you so much
welcome,
for coming.
Daniel
I
saying.
really appreciate you. I saw the last name when I was swearing, and then I was like, oh my gosh, there's family in here. I can't be using language. So I'm really sorry. I try not to,
But she'll do it again in a minute, so just watch out.
I probably will. So please forgive me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's one thing, Leslie. When I first met these ladies, I didn't cuss at all.
Can you mute him?
I can. He's such a liar. And Christoph also had Christoph, I've never seen you before in our chat, so welcome and thank you for being here. And your comment was right on point for sure. So,
yeah.
Thank you for being here. And again, welcome to Leslie. I appreciate you being here. All right. So are we ready to move on, folks? Let's see what else Kay has in store for us here.
She says bad words too, she says.
Oh, well, yeah. We all do.
Yes, we all do. Some myself worse than others. So now let me just take Jack, can you read that slide?
I can.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Friday, July 11, 2014, 1:48 p.m. from Kim, not a detective, Davis, to Ron Basie. She says, I need the following, please. Quote, activity cards for Holtzclaw from 6/3/2014 to 6/10/2014. Okay, so we're at June 3rd to June 10th. Any traffic tickets he wrote those days, any case numbers he generated those days, end quote. So.
Okay. And she even says, thanks, Kim Davis.
Yeah, thanks.
Detective.
Not a detective, Kim Davis.
That's funny.
So now, did they come up with anybody between those dates?
Who's in that time period, 6/3 to 6/10?
Nobody.
I can't think of anyone.
Not that I can remember anyway.
Aren't the only June accusers on the 17th and 18th? It seems like.
I think that's right. Oh my God! Now my dog's snoring real loud. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh,
Can't hear him.
Don't hear him.
Okay,
Can't hear him.
good.
Okay.
Okay, Jack, can you is this one seeable? Yep. Okay.
Absolutely. Friday, July 11, 2014. Joe, this is from Joe Hill to Ron Basie. Carbon copy to Kim Davis. Joe, can you, quote, can you handle the case number part, end quote? And then, quote, calls that 2C40, that's 2 Charlie 45, that's Daniel, was on that a case number was requested, end quote. Add chart from July 11th email.
I was trying to add the chart where they
that's a note from you, okay?
Do what?
That's a note from you.
That's a note to me, actually.
Okay.
There are some notes to me from me in here.
Okay.
This fine. Is a work in progress, guys.
Yeah. And she's done great. Again, I have to say, Kay has done an enormous amount of work on these slides. So
thank you, Kay.
Yeah.
You mean to read this one?
Sure.
Okay. Friday, this is a minute later, Friday, July 11th, 2014. Major, can you help with Kim's request? This is from Kim Davis. That was to Ron Basie. And
that
regarding,
that was from Major. They're saying Major. They're talking about Major Brian Jennings.
Gotcha.
Okay. Can you help with Kim's request?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And well, no, it's okay. There's also the reference in. Looks like this is a little bit more here. It says, quote, in a 8-day set from 6/13/2014 through 6/10/2014, he only logged in on 6/9 and 6:10. Was he on vacation days or what? Question mark, infinium, end quote. Wow.
She really thinks she has something there, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
She
he's
does.
never logging in. He's always logged off his computer.
He's not-
So,
yeah.
oh my God, it's
Yeah, I've got him. I've got him now.
yeah. Well, he wasn't working, so
He was off those days, so
It's
it's off. Sorry.
she's super excited.
Yeah, you can almost
Yeah.
feel it, just like I sense the tone of text in that what I read to you guys earlier before we went live. You can
Yeah.
sense it. You could just you can tell she's excited.
As I
It's all the
said,
question marks.
As I said, not a detective.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
I like
she
that.
is the best detective in the world.
Yeah,
Defective, maybe. I'm
So
sorry. I'll shut
effective
up now.
detective.
God, that describes it right there.
Yeah, defective detective Kim Davis. Yeah, I like it. Okay, Cherie, do you want to help us read?
Okay. This is from Ron Basie to Brian Jennings, information request. Per Kim's request below, I just need the forecast covering those dates and his activity sheet scanned mailed to me. Thanks in advance. In a 8-day set from 6/3/14 through 6/10/14, he only logged in on 6/9/14 and 6/10/14. Was he on vacation days or what? Activity cards for Holtzclaw from 6/3 to 6/10/2014 are needed.
What is with all the question marks? Jeez. He did it right back.
Yeah, well,
I think those indicate that they're like kind of having I've seen other people do that too. It's kind of like a little wondering whether there's some negative inference.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
definitely.
He didn't log in on these days. Was he on vacation or was he out screwing around without his jerk?
See, but right now they should be putting together all the paperwork they need to make Terry Morris officially the first victim, because without her, nothing's gonna fly. And they've got her to change her story now. So
Yeah.
where's the paperwork?
Yeah, exactly. There is none. Stick base, isn't DH getting a retrial or anything? Well, he is applying for state post-conviction relief. And the hope is to get an evidentiary hearing or a new trial, or dare I dream a complete exoneration. But
That won't happen.
we're in
without
Oklahoma,
a new
so
trial.
but yeah, we're hoping for a new trial for sure. So thank you for your question. Okay, Cherie.
Wednesday, July 16th, 2014, Detective Kim Davis spoke with ADA Galen Giger, who stated he would file one count of forcible oral sodomy, each for accusers Liggins and Morris.
And
then he didn't.
yeah, but you have to ask yourself, based on what?
Mm-hmm.
Based,
And that's what he finally realized. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, there's no evidence though. So
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
got Janie Liggins same kit that exonerates Holtzclaw. The DNA on the pants doesn't match Terry. So based on what?
But as Kim would say, there's no evidence that he didn't.
Right. Right, because that's how it works.
Oh,
You have to
geez,
prove
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
defective detective.
yeah,
Well, that really does tell the whole story. You do have to prove yourself innocent.
yeah.
We see how that worked.
Yeah.
Christoph Sadeo says their thinking is he didn't log in, therefore he deserves to be imprisoned. Oh yeah, and they try to pull a lot of that too.
Oh, that's exactly what Kim's thinking. Oh, he didn't log in. I bet he was raping a lot more people those days.
Right.
They're probably going over the Varuna logs to see, oh, who did he look up multiple times on those days? They're for sure victims.
Yep, definitely. Okay, Kay, would you like to read this one?
This is July 17th and 1:28 in the afternoon from Lieutenant Timothy Musney, who is the sex crimes lieutenant, to Stephanie Alexander. Scan documents from her. So he says, thanks. Are you the one who gets field interview cards from patrol officers? If so, can you check and see if Holtzclaw filled out any, I think he means to say field interview cards, on May 8th. And that is, May 8th is when he did legitimately have contact with Terry Morris and call it in, right after he had contact with Cody Nichols. So Musney's saying it might be Cody Nichols. If so, can you scan it to me? She says, I did not find anything. Lieutenant Musney, did he do any field interview cards? We're also looking for a Terry Morris. And then she responds, just for this day, I think I did see someone by the name of Morris, but I don't think I saw any from Holtzclaw at all for that day. I'm checking now. And then Musney confirms yes for the 8th. Then Friday the 18th, from Rocky Gregory to Timothy Musney. He is starting to forward documents to Musney because Rocky's getting ready to go on vacation. So he sends Musney second detective contact with Terry Morris. I believe this is the transcript of her second interview. Second search process of Daniel Holtzclaw. I think that is actually of his car. For some reason, they searched his car again. And Davis even writes a report that's completely ridiculous. It's almost like some supporting document that you would need to place in the record if you were trying to, cover your ass. Basically saying that whoever from the sex crimes unit called and said they were getting ready to do a second process of his car. And she said, and I told them I had other things to do and I did not know this was happening and I am not coming to that. I will not be there. I don't need to be there. Like, why do you need a report for that?
Right.
Something you're telling us what you didn't do now? This report is completely to inform us that you did not do something.
And I think my opinion is that she was trying to reiterate, in case anybody was thinking this way, that she was not involved whatsoever in anything that may or may not be found. She didn't have anything to do with it.
Right. And then the final document that is getting sent to Musney is a transcript of Daniel's 2-hour interview. Okay.
I'm curious why they processed his car twice.
Yeah, I've always wondered that too, because
you weren't thorough the first time? What the hell?
I mean, are they looking for another full profile from a female? It should be easy to find one back there, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's another email where Rocky's trying to forward instructions of how to put the police reports together and what order they should go in. And he's giving his boss instructions on how to do his job. So he's saying the last Varuna report. I don't know why we're starting with number 7. I think in the series of emails, maybe we didn't. There are a few in some sections that I've been able to read where it looks like replies or portions are missing. So maybe he wrote something in the email that gives instruction for 1 through 6 reports that had some comment in it that they decided to withhold. I mean, it's clear that there are responses in some of these email chains that are missing. So I mean, you would expect that they would do that. Prater was still in office when these emails got passed on. Okay, so number 7, report number 7, he's saying should be first contact with Terry Morris. Number 8 would be her 911 call. Number 9, interview with Daniel. Put him in header as suspect. The suspect in question was Officer Daniel Holtzclaw. This was the officer who had also been mentioned in the case involving Terry Morris. Well, yeah, only because he was the Officer Holtzclaw was the last officer who checked Terry for warrants on 5/8/14 and matched her description of her assailant later on. He fails to say that she pointed to the older model police car and said that's the kind of car he was driving. He leaves all the exculpatory stuff out. The description of the subject also matched the new victim. So now Janie Morris is the new victim. Terry Morris is the first victim.
Janie Liggins.
Yeah, what I say, Terry.
You said Janie Morris.
Oh, well, thank you. That's why we're all here. Once Detective Davis and I reviewed these cases in detail, it was determined to speak with Officer Holtzclaw. I asked about his underwear from the time period he advised they were in his wash. I asked if they had been washed, and he stated yes. That's a complete
That's
lie.
not true.
It's a fucking lie. It's not in the transcript that way.
And he just sent the transcript in the previous email that will, if they bothered to look at it, would show them that that is a lie.
He's making an excuse for not getting them.
Well, he's building a case so that they can, make him a serial rapist. And
the thing that I find, this is going to be such a small thing, but for me, it's so huge. His lie is so
blatant.
Even blatant and even worse, because he says, I asked if they had been washed, and he said, quote, yes, end quote. He deliberately lied and quoted it. It's just, what an asshole. Okay, go ahead.
And he knows that really what happened was he was too stupid to ask the question because he didn't, or he was smart to not ask the question because he didn't want it documented. He didn't want to have to go get those underwear and test them.
Reference why I said earlier, not a detective, and that goes for both.
Okay, number 10 is the transcript of his interview. Number 11 should be the second search of Holtzclaw's car. Report number 12 should be the second detective contact. 13 needs to be Diana's transcript when done. And I'm assuming that's of the second contact with the second interview with Morris.
Okay.
Number 14, you have the transcript from Higginbottom photo lineup. Well, that doesn't make sense then, because that's the second interview. I wonder what that means. 12, second. Well, I guess we'll see what report number 12 is in her complete record, and we'll have the answer. 14, you have the transcript for Higginbottom's photo lineup. His report is in the system, but you have the transcript. I never saw it. Number 15, third contact above. Number 16, when Diana is done with third detective contact transcript, this is where it goes. Wow. So all of those reports that are filed that have Rocky's name on them, this shows that Timothy Musney actually did those reports.
Yes.
And they have Rocky's name on them as typed by Rocky Gregory.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
And then Musney approves them. Friday, July 18th, from Rocky to Musney, fifth set of reports. He's sending him the extended Varuna check for Terry Lynn Morris, the extended Varuna check for, I think he meant to say, what do you think?
Wait.
Why? Maybe he didn't mean to write that twice, but.
Well, it is Rocky Gregory. He is a dickhead, so. I was given
Varuna checklist for Musney and Basie the following dates from 4/10/12 to 12/31/12, and Terry was not ran through Varuna.
So this is most people probably don't realize this, but in trial they say that they only went back 6 months of Daniel's records and stuff in his file for his police records. But this is proof right here that they went back all the way back to the spring of 2012, all the way through 2012.
Wow.
They were going back so far to try to find anything they could on him. Anything.
I'm not sure how to say your name. Is it Sticks Bass or Sticks Base?
Base. I got corrected.
So he's not separated from all of the other prisoners. He is in protective custody. So, I mean, he's not in general population. And the only bad thing about protective custody is they have a lot less privileges than general population does. So.
Yep. Good question. Thank you. Stick base.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, if you want. I mean, you guys can read as many slides as you want to read because I'm just going to let you.
So Friday, July 18th, from Rocky Gregory to Musney, 6 set of reports. Attachments, the security surveillance from the Surety Life building. Daily activity reports, field interview cards. I mean, again, he's just loading Timothy up with everything he needs to build the paper case.
Yeah.
Because Giger hasn't, he said he would file charges, and he hasn't.
Because there's not enough evidence.
Yeah, we won't really see him file charges until more than a month after he said he was going to file charges.
Yeah, because the only right thing that he did was hold off until there was evidence, except for all the evidence was manufactured. So, but just, and again, the reason that we feel like it's important for you guys to see these emails, even though it might seem not all that exciting or whatever, is because you can tell, and we didn't even get all of the emails. There's a lot of emails missing that we could tell are missing as we're reading through them. But I don't even know how many we had. Was it 6,000 or 7,000 freaking emails we went through? It was a job. Took a long time.
The backstory is as important as what we see normally. We've learned that the hard way through the Avery and Dassey case.
Right.
What they did behind the scenes. They built all this stuff that people don't see. And I don't have a problem with police work and doing their job like they should do. That's not what happened here.
No. And you can, some of these emails you can even, this is all about Rocky's getting ready for vacation and stuff right now. But, and a lot of them you can see, and that we kind of have talked about it lately too, going back over some of the emails, particularly Kay. When we did these, gosh, I don't know, over a year ago maybe, or about a year ago, we're looking at stuff and we're adding things into, we're saving things that we think, seem like if it has to do with Daniel, we're marking it. And we're reading it going, gosh, I don't know if this really but the more we've learned about the case, the more these emails really have been more interesting, I guess is the best way to say it. So okay, I guess I can read a little bit to give you guys a break. From Timothy Musney, Monday, July 21st. This is about 10:46 in the morning. To Diana Denham, who I believe does the transcriptions, and that's the subject is transcriptions. Musney says, "Can you tell me where you are at with the reports we needed transcribed? I think there are 2 more interviews with Terry Morris." Lieutenant Musney. Before I go on, Liam says, "I wonder if a check on any random officer which worked that area at night would not be matched to their idiotic profile." Well, no, I don't think so, because I don't think they were trying to do anything like that. They were solely looking for anything that they could tie to Daniel. Whoops. Hold on.
I think he's just saying, they're not going to see anything different between,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, yes.
Officers.
Exactly. Exactly. And Kay has said it a million times. Kay, what is it that you say?
I say a lot of things, but maybe this is what you're thinking about, that using the same tactics that they used to turn Daniel into a serial rapist, they could have done this to anyone on the police force by using their own police records against them.
Yeah.
By especially an aggressive officer who is, like the reason that Daniel looked people up multiple times. And I was just noticing, because we're going to see where they list the times that he looked Sherry Ellis up, and it was like 4 times. Well, the very first one was the time that he had contact with her. So after that, she's on his radar. She is roaming around in the middle of the night alone. She's not actually going where she says she's going. He probably assumes that she's either prostituting herself, which I don't think she was, or that he's going to see her walk into a crack house
Yeah.
But really, what she was doing was she was going to see her boyfriend.
She was going to see her side piece.
Yeah,
Did a little action.
that's what was happening.
Okay, let's see what comes up next.
Was that the thing you were thinking?
That's exactly what I was
Okay.
thinking. Yep. Okay, Tuesday, July 22nd, 2014. Detective Kim Davis contacted Daniel Holtzclaw's FOP lawyer, Susan Knight, and told her they have discovered female DNA on the inside fly of Daniel Holtzclaw's uniform pants. Quote, David wants Kim to call Susan and ask about the DNA, then wants her to start looking at other possible victims, end quote. And they're speaking of David Prater in that.
Yeah, they're David Prater, Kim Davis, Daniel's FOP appointed attorney, Susan Knight. So now they know that Terry's DNA doesn't match. They're screwed. We better get to finding other victims because this is all about to fall apart. It's interesting to see David Prater involved.
Yeah, and scary, terrifying.
Well, I mean, we knew, he's involved, but you would never have any proof that he was sticking his nose into it like this.
Yeah. Well, and he has a way of doing that too. In a lot of instances, he's all involved behind the scenes, and you don't always get to know that until he has some sort of public outburst because he didn't get it away.
Yeah,
So Prater wants Kim to call Daniel's lawyer and ask about the DNA.
And what happens is she calls Susan and says, would Daniel come back in and give us some names about who that DNA could possibly be? And she says, no, he's given a statement already, and that's all. Mm-hmm. That's all you're getting. He won't be coming in.
Okay.
Nice try, motherfuckers.
So, you did it.
I did
there it. There you go.
Oops, I did it again. Okay. On Tuesday, July 22nd, 2014, between 10:25 a.m. and 12:37, Ron Basie to Timothy Musney regarding the Holtzclaw case. There were very few other emails besides the Holtzclaw case at this time that were being discussed via email.
We wouldn't, to be fair, I think we wouldn't know because I think the criteria of emails that you wanted had to do with the Holtzclaw case, or
that's true.
I can't remember who wrote that request and what the parameters were.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay. Fine. Defend them. Defend them.
No, I just say that because I thought the same thing until I realized. Why it is.
That makes perfect sense. So it's all good. So he says Ron Basie says to Timothy Musney, I wasn't in the meeting last week. Coleman just called and said you needed to discuss with Galen whether to proceed with filing or wait until Kim contacted potential victims. Was a decision made on this yet? Captain Basie. Lieutenant Musney says David wants Kim to call Susan and ask about the DNA, then wants her to so this is part of a thread that this was.
I think he's passing this on to him. He's saying, by the way, this happened.
And Johnny Coleman, I can't remember what he's
the deputy chief.
Deputy chief, okay.
He's the one that basically was the face of this investigation as far as the chief goes. The chief, I know city was involved, but you don't see his name in it very often.
Right.
And I think he was smart probably to try to keep his name out of it. He just got sued for like $643,000 for intimidating one of his upper brass.
Yeah. They're so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2014, Elaine Taylor called Lieutenant Musney to inform him Morris is not the DNA on the pants. Holy shit. Now we definitely got to go find some more victims. July 23rd, 2014, detectives go to Kayla Lyle's parents' house, her last known address, and leave a business card. They say, her parents, that they haven't seen her in
Those
however.
question marks are for me because I think they said they hadn't seen her in 2 or 3 months.
Okay, I was going to say,
Am I right?
I thought it was, they said over a month, but it could have been 2 or 3 months. It had been a long time.
Well, that's why the question marks are there.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months.
Right.
And
Oh,
then
it was
I
months.
obviously didn't get back here to fix it. So
No,
there
I'm
you
pretty
go.
sure it was months. If I know it wasn't weeks. Or, well, it could have been, but
But while
I
while they
remember
were there, they told their parents, like they told all the other people, yeah, we have reason to believe that she was assaulted by an Oklahoma City police officer and he's doing these kind of things to women, blah blah blah, giving them all the information they need to pass on to her.
Yeah. And they do that with everybody. If they don't get in touch with the actual accuser or potential accuser herself, they give the information that they're talking about or looking for to a friend or a family member or whoever they do get in touch with,
And
which
there's
is,
no recording of these
of course, not.
interviews, and they'll just say, "Oh, we weren't expecting anyone. We were just planning to leave a business card on the door."
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's ever supposed to be home.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, which is why I say that recording equipment should go with them wherever they go. Whatever. I'm not in charge though, so
What did Kim say? We just don't have access to that kind of.
we don't have
I
access
can't
to that.
remember what her quote was. It was ridiculous.
It was pretty close to that. Pretty close to that. I'm not sure how far we were going. Kay, do you have a slide number in mind?
What is that one?
129.
Let me look.
So Liam says, while you're looking, Liam said they were planting the seed, of course, and it worked really well with the Kayla Lyles accusation, which we'll get to in another time. And then leave the card and keep your mouth shut.
Let's go through the end of July.
Okay. Christoph says, "Ooh, Rhonda, you weren't lying. You let them." Yeah, all these anxious emails back and forth because Janie Liggins made a wild claim. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, I let it fly. I don't usually hold back very often. Okay, so we're gonna go through July. So okay. Oh, excuse me, Susan. Do you want to start over?
Sure. Let's see. Thursday, July 24th, 2014. Detective Homan and I began looking for Sherry Ellis. Detective Gregory wanted her contacted in reference to this case. Detective Gregory was scheduled for a 2-week vacation, so he gave me Sherry's information to see if I could contact her. Around this date, Detective Gregory leaves for a 2-week vacation, possibly July 28th to August 10th.
I'm wondering about the August 10th part because
I think it might be a week sooner because I
Sooner.
think on that Friday when he was dumping all of those reports, whatever that was, I think that was his last day before vacation. So
well,
I just
and
need to change that.
Kim Davis had the phone call with Sherry Ellis on August 5th
I think
or
that's
8th.
right. It's in here.
And okay.
Well, if Holman started looking for Sherry on the 24th, he was probably gone by then, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
he was gone, but he was back before. He was back in time for that in-office phone or in-office interview, because he went with Kim Davis and Sherry Ellis to so she could show him the route that the officer took. If I'm not, maybe I'm mistaken. It's been a
No,
minute.
that's true.
Christoph says
So
all
he
these.
probably was on vacation from the 21st.
Yeah, and got back.
Can you scroll back and see when he was dumping all those emails, all those reports?
Yeah. Let me read this from Christoph real quick. All of these officers and prosecutors were on a leash held by a lying drug addict. These emails are very revealing. Thanks for sharing them with us. Oh, of course. We're sharing everything we can find. Okay. Wait, what am I going to?
Okay,
Oh.
Rocky's sending. So Friday the 18th. So that was his last day. So yeah. Monday. So he was gone the 21st through. He came back on August. What would that be?
21st.
2510. Yeah.
Would that
like
be
the
August 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll have to remember to change that.
Let's see. I haven't seen that. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay. Sorry. There you go, Susan.
On 7/24/14, Detective Holman and I went to 2258 Northeast 16th Terrace. This was Sherry's last listed address in Varuna. Curtis Jones was in front of the house. He advised he is the landlord of the residence. He confirmed Sherry lives at this address with her boyfriend, Terry Mack. He said Terry is in a wheelchair. Curtis said he would give Terry and Sherry my card and have them call me.
Okay. This is now now they're actively working on Sherry Ellis.
On 7/28/14, I called several numbers listed in Varuna looking for Terry Mack. Terry Mack called me back because he received a call from my number. He advised his father is the person I am looking for and confirmed he is in a wheelchair. He knows Sherry but hasn't seen her in a long time.
And just to note, he also said that he did not want them to contact his dad because his dad had just had a stroke and wasn't well.
But that doesn't stop them.
No.
Based on a list provided by Lieutenant Kimberlin on 7/31/14, Detective Coleman and I went to the following addresses.
You don't have to read all those.
So
Yeah.
they spent basically all day. I mean,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 addresses. Jeez. No luck locating Sherry Ellis.
Yeah.
now what you gonna do?
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Okay. So that is the end of July, unless there was more activity on that day. Let me peek. Nope. Okay. So that's just a brief introduction then to
What is next? Let's go to the end. Let's go to the part right before, because her phone interview is
the 8th, I believe.
Yeah, let's go to that and then we'll pick up next week with her phone interview, and because we have a recording, and then her in-person interview as well.
Okay. All right.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, please.
On August 1st at 14, I sent Sherry a message on Facebook. I also used her Facebook page to find some associates. I found she is related to Vernon Starr. I contacted him at work. He said he talks to Sherry every day. I explained to him that I needed her to contact me and gave him my number. He said he would give her the message.
Isn't there, Kay or Cherie, isn't there something more to that though, that wasn't there something else written that she, well, never mind, maybe not. I thought that she told this Vernon person what they were looking for her for.
Yeah, but this comes from an email. I just forgot to document it. And
Oh, okay.
they're not going to write, they didn't write
Yeah.
that in there.
Of course. Okay.
Sherry Ellis is contacted on the phone by Detective Kim Davis. Brief interview is audio recorded. Ellis says it was a black officer.
Okay. Is that on the 1st? That wasn't on the 1st.
According to Bates' timeline, it says the phone call was on the 3rd, and then the in-person interview was on the 5th.
On the 5th. Okay. Yeah, we need to fix that because it wasn't on the 1st.
August.
So we'll fix that. We'll get that fixed.
I make mistakes all the time, people.
Believe it or not, she's a human.
Human.
So
Wow.
Liam says the landlord thought Sherry lived there with him, but he hasn't seen her in a while. Being flaky is a consistent thing with these victims. Oh, yes. Flake is all their middle names, I'm sure.
That's putting it mild, yeah.
Flake is a thing with them. Well, they're just all flaky because they don't know the story they're supposed to tell. They don't remember it once they're told the story. So, it's okay. So then is this where we want to end then, Kay, or did you still?
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, as far as the slides is what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, we'll pick up with Sherry's interviews next week, and whatever else is going on in their timeline, but they're obviously heeding the advice of the district attorney, David Prater, and now they're on a mission to find some victims to match that DNA.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole goal.
Mhm.
Liam, even with Rocky giving his very best coaching, he's just a horrible. Let's see. Well, you won't hear it until we do Carla Raines, which is for quite a while still. Or Carla Johnson. Why can I never remember? I think it's Carla.
There are two. There are Carla Raines and Carla Johnson.
Yeah,
but Raines is the one that says nothing.
The one that says no.
How'd you get my name on something like this?
Right. Right.
Because I hadn't really been on the streets that much.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other. But I mean, you get to hear. I say get to. Well, let's see. There is a recording of Tabitha Barnes. So when she is a little bit. In fact, I think I can't remember based on their timeline. I can't remember when he talks to Tabitha Barnes, but whoa, that is a crazy interview that I can't wait to share with all of you guys because it's crazy. It's hard to follow. Tabitha Barnes is going to take us at least a month to get through when we get to her. So
wow,
probably
Seems like it was like around the 13th, maybe, but I'm not exactly sure. Somewhere around there.
Of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, because I think the first time he tried to talk with her, I think, was on the 14th of August. Now that you say that.
Well, he has several contacts with her because her house gets broken into. He's the one that gets dispatched out to that call. And he's familiar with her house anyway because he watches it every night that he's on duty because it is a known drug house.
Yeah.
Hence why her housekeepers are coming and going.
Is that
Why
is
she's
that
on
the one
public?
where she said he went upstairs with her?
No.
No, that's Rosetta Great.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Tabitha
Okay.
Barnes, she's the one that had her kids out in the car. It was like a
Oh, yeah.
cold winter day, and they were waiting for
Waiting on their
Waiting on the
money.
food stamps.
waiting
Yeah.
for that to hit their account so they could go get ice cream in
Yeah.
the winter time.
Um,
I don't ever think about going to get ice cream when it's ass freezing cold outside.
I might pick up some ice cream in the wintertime if I'm grocery shopping to have in the house. If
But
I,
it's at midnight too.
but I'm
isn't
not
it?
going
Like
out
right
at
around
midnight to get
midnight.
some damn ice cream in the middle of winter. Fuck no.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, it may seem a little slow right now, but trust me, things are going to pick up, and there's going to be some angry people, and in some chats, hopefully. Well, I don't want people angry, but some crazy things are going to be coming up here pretty quick. And there's really, I know we're supposed to be working on Janie Liggins, but there's really nothing going on with Janie Liggins at this point in the timeline. All they know for sure about Janie Liggins now at this point is that her DNA is nowhere near Daniel's car, on it or in it, no fingerprints, and his DNA is not in her mouth where it should have been. If
Yeah,
he
there's nothing else to
There's-
investigate with Janie Liggins
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, there's really not much going on. Let's grab some comments here. Liam says his style is to interrupt when inconvenient facts are being given and redirect via a couple of side roads back to his intended route. Absolutely.
That's no kidding.
That is not a joke. And he makes interviews more convoluted than they need to be if he's just looking for facts. Yes.
Yes.
He's very suggestive as well. So
I like how he tried to get Terry Morris to say that she said Daniel made her put her hands on top of the car.
yeah.
Trying to make it look exactly like the allegations that Janie Liggins made that they
Right.
couldn't prove.
Uh-huh.
Because they want to try to link, they want commonalities. So even though they didn't find any prints on the car for Janie Liggins, if another accuser says the very same thing, that's going to be good with the jury.
Yeah, Kim pointed that out, right? Same
Yeah.
MO, same verbiage, same, yeah.
And I think it's why when they were looking at all the AVLs that they didn't have, that they were trying to choose potential victims where they could say, "Oh, he took him to the same place. He took him to the bus, whatever. He took him to the abandoned schoolyard. He's doing the same things with women. Everything's lining up. Everything was lining up."
And she's saying the same exact thing,
Yeah.
which was like, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky Gregory
Disgusting.
deserves your hashtag fuck the dumb.
Yeah.
And if they didn't say the same thing, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
We'll
Exactly.
tell them what they said.
Yeah, exactly.
We can do that because we don't record interviews, so
Yeah.
we can do that.
And even if we do, we we find a way to make it sound so ridiculous that nobody can understand it.
Oh man.
Oh. Yeah, so kind of as far as that, this just is kind of leading us into Sherry Ellis, and it'll get interesting with Sherry Ellis, for sure. Well, I'm not so sure about emails as far as Sherry Ellis, but her case is, and I'll probably have a pretty good video for you of the interview that Kim Davis does with her on the phone, and well, yeah, on the phone, and the one that she does with her in person. Um, and it'll probably be a lengthy video because the interview went for quite some time, but I don't know. I'll have to go through it again and see if there are some dead spots I can just cut out to make it shorter. But there's quite a bit of information in her video that
The in-person video, is that what you're talking about?
the in-person interview. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. So that's where we'll pick up next week is with Sherry Ellis in the timeline and play some interesting stuff for you. Anything else you want to add tonight, Kay, about the emails that you've been going through again?
Well, I'm kind of, I'm not finished trying to fill in that timeline because I feel like I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to find more information that gives a clue to what they were doing. There's too many gaps in the timeline.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do is fill in what find the filler, because probably what's in the filler is really interesting information. So
Well, at some point we'll feel like it's complete and post it so that people can scroll through it. It has things from as far back as talking about Kim's former partner, Butch McKenna.
Yeah.
And the trial they were working on when he committed suicide at his desk the day that he was to testify in that trial.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a mistrial. They did end up retrying that guy. Kim testified and they convicted him. But I think his attorney said something like, he is innocent completely. They're talking about an issue with the DNA, which imagine that, how all the shenanigans come out of the crime lab. Mixed up DNA. I don't know. I have no idea about that case, so I'm not.
Yeah,
What a joke. Joke of a system.
I looked into that case.
Was that the Ride Out case? I think.
No, Ride Out. Why does that sound familiar?
That was in the book we read.
Okay, no, this one, maybe, I don't think so. Oh, maybe it was. Because it was a sex crimes case. But I know that in one of these cases that she was accused, Kim Davis was accused of destroying or getting rid of or letting go of evidence before it was supposed to be
gotten rid of.
Yeah, like the bones in the Holtzclaw case or in the Avery case. So yeah, it's
they
definitely
about that in her deposition, didn't they?
Maybe that's where it was. That could have been where it was.
I think they asked her about evidence that she was the last one to check out and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
And she was so flippant. She just I don't know. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is that Sean Mullins?
Mullins. Yes. Rayshawn Mullins.
It seems like it's something to do with a checkbook or something. I don't know.
Yes. Rayshawn Mullins. That's right. I looked him up and he is in prison because he was convicted. But I was going to write him a letter and just, but I wasn't sure. This was about a year ago. I wasn't sure, what I could ask, or I just didn't understand for sure how the system would work and if they would let him see the letter. I probably should have just, said, hey, just, interested in pen pal or some shit. Instead, I had to make a big deal about it. And yeah, defective detective. That's going to be a hashtag. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Jack. Anyway, I did look up, but I know that there was another case that she worked where her defendant, like Daniel, swears he's innocent. So I just can't remember which one it is right now. Um, Christoph says, I'll check out Foul Play for sure. I definitely listened to Brian Bates. Thanks for all you guys do here for Daniel and for justice. Oh, of course. We're trying to do try to do as much as we can and learning as much as we can. So we're not going anywhere until he gets home. So um, welcome to the OKC Department of Defective Detectives. That's awesome.
No kidding.
Well, I know it's hard to believe because we've only been at this for an hour and a half tonight, but
That we're not doing a 5-hour show again?
no, listen, if I can help it, I don't want to go any longer than an hour if we can help it, but there's just always too much to cover. So I know that after an hour and a half, some people are like, okay, I've heard enough, blah, 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 and they don't want to listen much longer than that. So,
well, with these emails and such, I mean, it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
There's not a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. And that's okay. We don't have to, it's not like I'm getting paid by the hour or something.
Oh, yeah, this pays big.
Yeah, lots of.
I wish, man, I'd be rich.
We'd all be pretty wealthy by now if that were the case, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I have to say, to me, that's what makes our work so credible. We're not doing this for fun. We're certainly not doing it for money. There are causes that we are deeply passionate about and have very strong beliefs about. And,
Catnet. Catnet, we're all getting paid except for you.
You weren't supposed to know that, Catnet.
Yeah.
Dang it, I didn't even know you were in there. Damn it.
But that's what makes it more believable. The work that the information that, at least in my opinion, the information that we're trying to share. There are plenty of content creators out there who are monetized and who are making a lot of money, and good for them. But that's not my goal. I'm not trying to make money. And if I were making money, it certainly wouldn't be going in my bank. It would be going to help Daniel in some way, of course. And so, it's to me, that says a lot about, when a group of people are doing work on something like this completely with no payback for them in any way, shape, or form, really. That it would say a lot to me if I were watching some of these other content creators channels and stuff, and listening to things that they're saying and how many shows they're doing a week and all this and that. They're all making a lot of money, so heck yeah, they need to keep making content so they can keep getting their bucks. That's not what we're in it for. So
hey, I found that slide about Butch McKenna.
Oh, did you?
Want me to read it?
Yeah.
An Oklahoma County judge declared a mistrial Thursday in a rape and kidnapping trial because of the death of Oklahoma City Police Inspector Butch McKenna, the lead detective in the case. McKenna was expected to be the first witness to testify Wednesday in the trial that began Monday. Sex crimes detective Kim Davis, McKenna's longtime partner, was present during Rideout's taped interview. She may step in to testify for McKenna when the case goes before a different jury April 26. This is 2003. McAmis said testing of evidence taken from the victim matches Rideout's DNA, proving he raped the 18-year-old woman June 16, 2002. The victim, a manager at a fast food restaurant, was closing the business about 3:40 a.m. when she was attacked. Teeter, this is the public defender, Ella Teeter, said the woman was never raped and police mixed up DNA samples.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely, Andrina. Our pay will come when Daniel comes home. Absolutely. Um,
No
no
doubt.
kidding. Is somebody landing an airplane? Am I the only one who hears that?
I am
You
not
feel
landing an airplane.
I hear
it could
something.
be
Somebody's mowing the yard.
the mower outside my
Oh, okay.
window here.
Oh,
Sorry.
Not an airplane, just the mower.
yeah.
I'm surprised you can hear that.
I
Did you?
can't hear
No.
it.
Didn't you know? It's this week. Susan gets the company plane. Oh wait, damn it, we're live. Kathy's
Oh yeah.
Katniss not supposed to know that.
Liam says he thought it was a mower.
No,
Oh.
Liam, it was the company plane.
It was it was. We share it, but it
It
was
says Daniel's truth on the side of it.
Listen,
Yes.
Katniss still in the live. She's not supposed to know about the perks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to let her in on it now.
No, too late. She knows. No.
Okay.
Catnip is one of those silent members where she doesn't say much, but she does a lot. Oh, she goes, oh, what? Now a company plane?
Told you.
Sorry, Kat. We'll come and get you when we go to Oklahoma this summer.
And a company mower.
Oh, Liam says your pilot needs to close the windows.
Oh Lord.
So before we end tonight, I just wanted to mention something, and it's just a seeking information or seeking to find out if there's any interest or not. Next week is my last week of school. Well, school's out for summer. Alice Cooper. Anyway, there is a new case that is just getting started here in Utah where I live, and but it's grabbed national attention because I've been seeing it in many different news reports and papers and stuff, and it Christoph, ooh, he's catching on quick. Company plane, that sounds like some foul play. Yeah, absolutely foul play. Anyway, it's about the woman was just arrested this week. Her name is Corey Richens, and I can't remember, it's been a couple of years ago, her husband died. They had 3 children together, and her husband died. And so sometime after her husband's death, she wrote a children's book about grieving, and mostly to help her sons grieving the loss of their father. Turns out their father didn't just die. Their mother poisoned him with fentanyl and killed him. So she's been arrested now, and
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Dang it, I forgot to say that. She has been arrested, and so for whatever reason, it's caught on to, some of the larger news outlets. So I was thinking, since it's here in Utah where I live, and there's other folks who are, going to start looking at it and covering it, apparently, some other YouTubers. I thought, since my summer's going to be a little more free than I am right now, if there's some interest in it, I thought I would add another day to the week and talk a little bit about, start following that case, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now, not something happens every single day at this point because she's only just been arrested. But if there's any interest, I thought I would go ahead and just start covering it just because I live in Utah where she's from. So you can either, put something in the chat, or leave a comment and let me know if it's something you're interested in hearing more about during the summer as this case progresses. And if there is some interest, then I'll maybe start covering it. Um, so
I'm interested. I've looked a little bit at that case. Yeah.
Yeah, and Christoph, you're right. There has been quite a bit of evidence on her activities throughout the year, and some affidavits that have been come forth already and stuff. So, yeah, that's excuse me, that's something I'm thinking about doing.
And I'm sure everybody's aware that Koberger was indicted yesterday or the day before.
Yes. Well,
and he will be pleading on Monday.
Yeah.
This Monday.
Yeah, that'll be.
Hey, do you guys think that the Lori Daybell case in Arizona will be televised? Have you heard anything about it?
I haven't heard yet if it's going to be televised. She's been indicted on both cases, on Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreaux, and I believe they're also looking into her first husband, Joseph Ryan.
How'd he die?
Well, I believe it was natural causes.
Okay. How much money did she get?
I don't know. Cherie knows more about Joseph Ryan than I do.
I can't remember what she got, but or how much she got actually, but it just looks suspicious. And I've been listening to his sister's podcast a lot. And
is that one of her children's fathers?
Tyler's.
It's Tyler.
Tyler's father. So Tyler got money.
Is it Colby's too?
It was Colby's stepdad.
He adopted him, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Colby had a different dad. I can't remember what his last name was.
I can't either.
Yeah.
But that's where Tyler's Social Security came from.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. From Joseph Ryan.
That she managed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Jack and Kat and I were talking, and Cherie were talking earlier before we were going live about. Jack and I I just said, Jack kept saying she's evil, pure evil. Evil is not, I need a different, stronger word. Evil doesn't cut it for me with Lori Daybell. It just doesn't.
It doesn't. And even evil incarnate doesn't cover it. She's I'll find a new word because descriptor.
As bad as the Letitia Stout case was, it was horrific what she did to her stepson. I'm not, and her behavior and everything about Letitia Stout is also needs a different word besides evil. But
I would say Lori is possessed.
Lori's possessed, or something. She's far worse. She killed both of her children. Conspired, same thing to me, to kill her husband's wife. She had her own husband killed, Charles Vallow, her brother, who I don't give a shit what that damn autopsy says. I, in my gut, feel so strongly that they killed Alex.
Absolutely.
There's just and then her ex-husband Joseph Ryan. There's no way she's not a Black Widow baby killer. No way.
They're the Lori Vallow miracles, just like the miracles. Doesn't quite have the same ring, but
she's just horrific. Like I put in the chat, and not in the chat, in the Lori Vallow room in Foul Play. There's been a juror who deliberated and then one who didn't get to deliberate. There's been two jurors now who have spoken out. And the one whose video came out yesterday or the day before, he said that, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the words, but he said that to look at Lori Vallow's face, he felt like he said he was looking at evil.
He kept looking for something good or something to that effect, but he couldn't find it. It was just all evil.
Yeah. Just
All her
yeah,
smiles
4,000 a
and
month under your scarves.
creepy.
4,000 a month from Charles. Which she was like, oh, at least that's something, because she was pissed. She was pissed off that Kay ended up with the there you
Life
go.
insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, she was so angry about the life insurance. Oh, speaking of, while I'm thinking about it, I was reading, because I read Nate Eaton's updates every day during the trial. Kay
Is it done?
Woodcock was
We're getting
also,
ready to get off here, so it's going to be early. Yeah, go and get it.
I'm just about done. Or you can go. You don't have to wait for me either. But Kay Woodcock was also getting dark, evidently, came up during trial.
That's
Yeah.
scary, man.
Yeah, she was also getting dark, and
Ugh.
she was possessed by evil whatever. And you want to know what her name was?
Huh.
Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Oh,
Now what the hell? That
just Rhonda?
ain't that some shit? Not just Rhonda. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of saving grace. I don't know. But anyway, okay, that's all I really have for tonight. So let me know either, let me know in the comments or here in the chat if you want, if you're interested in me covering Corey Richens for whatever we get from her case this summer. I think it'll be kind of fun. Anybody else on the panel? Anything else left to say? Jack?
Murder is hot.
Murder is hot.
Yeah, murder is hot right now. I did look up a few words for you to consider except for evil. And
Okay.
I'll give you a few. There are actually many. Monster, which we call her. Savage. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ogre. Sadist, definitely.
Sadist.
Brute. Psycho. Animal. Despot. But I really was thinking psychopath. Probably fits her best.
Yeah.
And that really,
Yeah.
because she really is.
I like savage too. Savage psychopath. Savage sadistic psychopath. There we go. Okay.
Triple S.
Thank you for doing that, Jack. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
no, it's not. SSP.
SSP.
Bet.
Hey, what else did you want to share before we take off?
Oh.
All the
I
words
really
you said.
think of anything. Oh, I talked to Daniel yesterday.
Oh,
Shared with you guys already, but he's been going through phases of growing his hair out. It was about shoulder length, but he cut it yesterday because it's so hot at the prison, or it's been so hot in the prison, I guess.
Sure. Oh,
They
yeah.
have a hard time. I guess it takes a while when the seasons change for them to get the heating or cooling systems, and I don't really know how much cooling there is, or heat for that matter, but like sometimes he'll say things like the heat just blows out hot air when it should be blowing out cold air. Anyway, he cut his hair. He's been struggling with a knee injury, probably injured himself lifting. He looks really good. He's put quite a bit of weight back on, and now he's been for the last, I don't know, month or more, he's just been changing his diet so that he can get really lean and try to keep the muscle that he built. But he's doing good. Lots of chaos in the pods always, and that's nerve-wracking, but he's doing good. That's all I got.
Great.
I did have one more.
I'm sorry, Jack. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to come
You're
back.
fine. You're fine. Tomorrow night, Jeff Jones is having a special live, and it's called Ma'am Miracles. That's at 9. I think it's at 9 Central. And then, of course, reading with the crew on Saturday at 5 Central, open mic on Sunday. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jack. Cherie.
And for the people who don't know where to find that stuff, there is a YouTube channel called Foul Play, and then a YouTube channel called Jeff Jones. So that content you will find there.
And I will bet that Catnip is on it already.
Probably so.
Because I know how quick she is. She's quick with that stuff, man. I don't know. It's like she's got some kind of superpower. So thank you for saying that, Kay. Cherie, what is going on at your house?
Oh, not too much here. I did want to add though that I think the timeline is brilliant because as you find out other things, you can plug it in, and it kind of helps. I think helps you see patterns. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great idea.
Yeah, I agree. We owe the thanks for this to Kay, because it was going to be much more less exciting or informative what my plan was. So she's doing great. No, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sharik. Susan, how about you, my sister?
I agree. It does help a lot. It kind of organizes things, and it's easier in my head to look at it this way. But yeah, I appreciate your work.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep. Great work. All right.
Yeah.
To everybody in chat, I hope I tried to get everybody's name that I saw in both chats. If I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry. I appreciate all of you for supporting Daniel and in Foul Play and here, of course. It's what we need. He needs more exposure. So I think being able to show it on my channel and then also in Foul Play's channel, hopefully, it's bringing more exposure that way as well and bringing more interest to his case. So we're going to keep up with the timeline that Kay's working. And of course, I love doing videos. I love making videos, and corny as they might be. I love doing it. So they're probably going to be sprinkled in there as well throughout. So if we don't have anything else, and Shaz, just before we're getting ready to take off, hi Shaz, you'll have to check us out on the replay. It's great to see you here. I know it's a harder time for you. So, but until next time, peace out.